the last week of the legislature, what we did last week. And I'll unpack that a little bit. The reason is because we dealt with a pretty significant bill. Did not go the way I was hoping it was going to go. But we did a number of different things before that as well. Then I'm glad to talk backwards a little bit, talk forwards a little bit. Glad to take your questions. The ones that I don't know, it's really easy. Just you can email me at serdman@leg. In the last week, we dealt with perhaps one of the 2 or 3 most significant bills to this point, LB 626, known as the heartbeat law. It failed by 1 vote. Oh. And I think it wasn't just the disappointment that it failed, it was the way in which it failed. I think when you're a politician, you need to come out and stand on the things that you stand on. And even if that's an unpopular thing, in fact, just this morning I got an email from a young lady who's originally from here, who now lives in eastern Nebraska, and she said, I'm thinking of running for a public office. What do you do when you're trying to balance what your constituents want versus your own convictions? How does all of that work? And the answer is both and. I wish it was one or the other, but that's the nature of leadership. And I said, I think if you kind of tool that in such a way that you're consistent with who you are, and that means you got to know who you are and why you believe what you believe, then you come out and you stand on that, and that way people know what they're buying when they vote. And in my view, the unfortunate thing is when someone says, I cast my vote, but I was really deeply disappointed in that candidate or in you, or what it might be. And I think that's part of what we were discouraged by this last week, is we had one of our partners on the conservative side who did not vote the way that he advertised he was going to. I took him to lunch 2 weeks before that and said, hey, what are your thoughts on things? And we were assured in less than a week before the vote happened that he was with us on 626, and then he surprised us all. And so that's a disappointment when that happens.
Was there a payoff?
Yeah, that was my first thought.
I don't think so.
Follow the money.
No, I don't think there was a payoff. I think it was far more unfortunate, perhaps predictable. He's a man that's done a lot of good things in his life. He's been a hospital administrator a lot of his life, and I think he got an undue amount of pressure from hospitals to vote the way that he voted. And so, but nonetheless, in that case, literally when he campaigned that he was pro-life and that there were no exceptions in his view for abortion, ever. And so that's called
Lying.
Yeah, he crawfished that bet. So, that's disappointing.